Alright gang, welcome back to our Skyefin Aquafarm series here on Kinlaig. It is September. Today is going to be an interesting day. We were hoping to be able to get, a decent amount of money so we can do a couple of the things that we still need to do. Specifically, around picking up the straw off the ground, having more food, more money, for the fish food, and then maybe potentially putting down a second trout lake, right? So that's still kind of the main goal. However, the used market has been very kind to us today. Extremely kind to us today, as a matter of fact. Look what's in the used market. I mean, there's three things there right off the bat that we would absolutely love to have. We would love to have this, so I don't have to continue to move a forklift around or whatever. This is perfect for picking up the straw. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but it'll do the trick, right? And it's going to save us a lot of money. This would be a fantastic upgrade to the harvester that we do have currently. Not that there's anything specifically wrong with the one we have now, but more of a nice-to-have upgrade there. That would be a faster harvester and really would have store a lot more crop, right? There's a lot of good options out there, I guess is how I'm going to put it. There's a lot of good options out there. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are good here, man, all things considered. Excited to be back in this series. This has turned into a favorite series of mine. I'm having a blast with it. We got a long way to go before this series is going to end, though. We have a lot of things we have to accomplish, as I've mentioned in the past, right? There's a lot of goals here that have to be accomplished, and they are expensive goals. But we are making progress, right? Every episode we are getting closer and closer, which is great. Right now the progress is just trying to get all of the fields we would require. And then that way, hopefully, we can, start making some more money besides just the fish farming, which I'm all about making this money off this fish farming, but really we need some more money incoming besides just this if we're going to be able to purchase the fish food factory and etc., right? It's all expensive. The things we have to accomplish for this series, they're very expensive. We're looking at probably upwards of $1 million, $1.5 million to actually accomplish everything we need to do, right? So we're still in the early stages, so it's going to be a while before we get to there, but I do think we are making pretty decent progress, right? We've got technically two fields because we turned one area of a yard into a partial field. Now, it's a very small field, but we did do it nonetheless. And then we have a second field that we have purchased now. So we are getting closer. And obviously we have the harvester now and among numerous other things, right? So we are making some good progress, but we definitely need to ramp this shit up. We need to get going a little bit faster here, for sure. So, having said that, you might say, well, why would you even, except for maybe the loading wagon, because that is something we absolutely do need, or the forage wagon, why would you even, consider any of the other stuff? Well, you're right, maybe I shouldn't be, but it would make our lives easier, and it would make the ability for us to be able to do more, it would allow us the ability to do more, I guess is how I should say it. Alright, those are all loaded up, so what we're going to do is what we normally do, which is take these up to the trout lake, fill up the trout lake a little bit more, and then, yeah, we'll see. We don't have enough money, I don't think, right now, and actually, as a matter of fact, I don't remember how much it cost us to begin with, but I don't think we have enough money right now to put down another trout lake. I think it's 8,000 or 12,000, something like that. I just don't remember the exact amount. I should remember it, because it hasn't been that long ago, but I don't. So all I know is that we don't have enough, but maybe by the end of the episode, depending on what else we purchase in the used market, if anything, maybe we will be able to put one down. We'll have to see. Now the yote is in the hull there, which is fantastic, and I kind of took a peek at it prior to recording here, and I will show it to you here in just a second. It's pretty cool, this whole setup that they have here. So we dropped the yote inside there into the grate, right? And I thought at the very beginning of the series, I was like, I wonder if it's going to show anything in here. It does. And there you go, straight ahead, you can see the yote is in there. So that's kind of cool, right? It's kind of cool to see that in here. Now, I don't know, maybe it's limited to like 3 different types of crop that can be put in here. I don't know. That's what you would think. But I guess we'll find out as we move along, right? Gonna turn the beacons off for the time being. We do have 2 pallets of adult trout up here, which is going to be good, right? That's going to make us some money. And I saw a comment, and I've already replied to it, but I saw a comment a couple of days ago that people were excited how excited I got when I saw that the trout were actually in the lake. I am. You know, that was one of the most disappointing things I saw when I put that down a couple episodes back, is that there was no trout in there whatsoever, but there are now. So, okay, so let's see. First off, let's take a look here, and I think it's 12,000. I think is what we saw. I think it was 12. Yeah, 12,000. So, and I don't even think, I think this might be a little bit too close here. I don't even think it's going to allow us to put this one right next to it. Like, I would love to have this like this, but I don't think it's going to let us. I could be wrong. It might say that I don't own it or whatever, but I would love to have that there. So they're right next to each other. Maybe I should have pushed this one a little bit more to the right, but I was afraid of, you know, harming the track here. I didn't really want to mess up the track. You know what? I don't have the forklift up here, but I might just use them by hand. But we should put the adult trout on here too, so that way we don't have to make 2 trips, right? We should do that. I know, not the most realistic thing. I definitely should have had the forklift come up here, but I'm just saving us a little bit of time. So, when we sell this, I guess that's really going to make the decision on what we're going to do, right? Obviously, the first probably decision we need to make is this, right? I don't know. Again, I didn't look. I said I was going to, and I didn't. Full transparency, I didn't. I don't know if the straw is going to actually work by putting that into our a grain silo type of thing. I would suspect that it doesn't, because this is a Giants-made map. It's not like a user-made map, if you will, or a mod. So my guess here is that it's not going to work. It probably, you know, it's going to be more of a realistic approach where it's not going to allow that straw to be in there, right? So I guess the other option comes into play is, do we maybe consider not going the loading wagon approach? Because we're going to have to make a lot of trips with that loading wagon. I mean, it's not going to be able to be... I mean, it's 16 it's not bad, but we're going to have to make a lot of trips. There's also this option, right? Where we could get a skid steer, and if we get the skid steer, then we could get like a generic baler and then stack the bales on top of this trailer. And maybe take less trips. Now, having said that, we would have to take the skid steer all the way to that field, which would take, you know, some time, right? I don't know. There's a lot of there's a lot of options there, I guess, is how I should put it. There's a lot of options. Now, before we move forward here, I need to see where we're selling the young trout at. Or, I'm sorry, not the young trout, the adult trout. We know where the young trout go. They only go to one location. But the adult trout, we need to see... I just took a quick peek at the oat while we were at it. We need to see where this is going to go. Almost there. There it is. Price is dropping significantly, but it's still decent. Looks like Goldcrest Valley. Nope, Seaside Restaurant. Seaside Restaurant. That's the best one, which we've been to before. That's up there in the main area of the city there, if you will. Still a pretty good price, right? We've got 4,000 liters of that, so that's going to be some good money. That's gonna really help. It's really gonna help. All right, we are pulling up here now. Almost went too far. I had to kind of back up. 21,347 out of that. That is awesome. Awesome. That is good money. That is going to be able to let us get either one of these, whichever one we decide to go with for sure. And then now it's just a matter of seeing which one of the which approach we're going to go with based off of what we sell with the remainder of the fish here. Now the option could be maybe I keep the trout off to the side, right, and bring them back for another trout lake. Oh my! What are you doing, Byron? What are you doing? Oh my God! Why did you just randomly stop? What is wrong with you? These... I'm telling you. They're out to get me. They always are. It seems every series we have an issue with them. Every single series. It's always the three. It's Scarlet, Byron, and Walter. It's all these are three of them. Always. They're dicks. Anyway, what was I saying? You know, you might say, I know what I was saying. You might say, maybe I should just hold on to the trout and make another trout leg. You're right, but if we do that, I'm afraid we wouldn't have enough money to get the forage or the loading wagon. Maybe we would. Maybe we would. Now, having said that, maybe we would. It's $13,370 for that, so maybe we would. That's a thought, right? That's a thought. Well, you know what? Even if we make another trout lake, we can wait till the next episode to do it. We're going to need the money for the fish food anyway, right? As far as the actual Aquafarm goes, we need more fish food anyway, so we're going to need the money. So let's sell them. Let's sell them outright and just see what happens here. That's real good money. Okay, so we're at $51,000, which is awesome. Almost could get the claws. Almost good. But, no, we digress. As much as we would like to have that, I just don't think we're going to be able to get that today. There are a number of reasons for that. A number of reasons why. Which I've already mentioned and listed off. Oh, here he is again. Here he is again. Complete and total tool. Go ahead. Brake check me again. There he goes. There he goes. You're such a dick, Byron. I'm nowhere near you. Why are you brake checking me? Oh, this guy. I tell you what. Look how slow he's going. Maybe the speed limit is that. Maybe it's my fault. I don't care. Drive. Oh, my God, Byron. Are you shitting me? You're an asshole. You are an asshole. I'm cool. I'm calm. I'm cool. I'm good. All right, $51,000 is what we got. We know we need fish food, so let's head up to the shop, pick up some fish food. And I don't know how much fish food we're going to buy here. We really probably need to buy a decent amount, if I'm honest with you. I mean, we probably need to look at... Oh, shit, we lost something. These things are still out here, luckily. And this tractor is fantastic, too. I guess there's that option, too. If I really wanted to, I could upgrade the tractor we have to this one. But I'm not going to be doing that. It would be sweet to have that fast track, but we're not going to be doing that. The tractor we have right now is sufficient, plenty sufficient for the time being. We also need to think about if we're going to put something back in that field. We've got to get a drill. There's all kinds of things we have to buy that we don't have right now, right? There's a lot of things. A lot of things. Let's buy the fish food first, and then let's just see what kind of money we have left over after that, because we really want to make sure that it continues to be a thing, right? We want to make sure we're able to continue producing the fish, because that's making us all the money, right? So I'm going to buy the same amount. That only this is $30,000. It's not a ton of money. Not a ton of money by any means. It's really not enough money, but it's going to work, so it's fine. I don't know which way to go here, gang. I really don't. I don't know if I should go with the forage wagon approach, which I think is probably what I'm leaning towards here, as much as I would like to do the baling and have that skid steer to have another forklift, in our main yard, so I don't have to drive things all around or use my, use it by hand, the liftable pallet mod. It's a tough choice, but I do think since we have that straw on the ground and I want to utilize, that to make some money back, I do think that's the best approach, right? Oh, what happened? I screwed something up. I don't know how I messed that up. Well, that's when that went well. All right, let me lock these down here. We're going to need to. Whoops. Did not think I was that close. Alright, those are up there. Just got to get these sorted out somehow now. Now, when we put down this second trout lake, whenever that happens, I don't know when it's going to happen, but whenever it does happen, right, the other thing is we're going to need more fish food. We're going to need even more fish food. Right, let's realign here as best we can. Perfect. All right, good. Okay. Let's bring these back, and then we'll make the decision on what we're going to do as far as the straw goes. I think we're going to go with that forage loading wagon that's in the used market. I can't justify, I don't think, going any further than that. I really don't, because I think that'll allow us still to do the trout lake, which I want to do. And then as far as like actually getting something on the ground, hopefully we can do that next month, because we can still do barley and wheat next month, which is still going to be sufficient, because that's going to allow us the ability to make flour out of that as well, right? So let's get this back. We'll get it dropped off at both locations, and then we'll probably head back to the shop and purchase that wagon. Well, as expected, the straw does not accept in our little silo here, which, like I said, I fully expected that to be the case. So, what does that mean? What are we going to do with this? Well, I don't know. The answer is I don't know. We have a couple of options we can do. One, we could put down some type of silo that will store straw. Or two, we could just go and sell it outright. Now, I accidentally went into the map here. I was not really meaning to. So that kind of was a little bit of a longer stop mid-time lapse there than I was really wanting for all of you. I apologize. I don't think straw is going to be that great right now. It's not. But to be fully transparent with you, straw doesn't fluctuate that much. It fluctuates at a $28 price on average, right? It is going up. It's not the best price at all right now, but it's not terrible. So I think we might just go ahead and sell this at the animal dealer, which I don't think we've been to the animal dealer yet. I don't even know where the animal dealer is. Okay, so right up by the shop. So actually very close to where this is. Now, I'm going to probably take the shortcut across the bush there instead of going all the way around. I know that maybe is a little unrealistic, but we're probably going to do that anyway. So I guess that's a nice thing, is that it's kind of close to where we are. Now, I kind of wasted time coming all the way back here. Got stuck again on the railroad tracks. For some reason, there is something there. There's some kind of collision right there that is causing, if I hit it, causing the tractor just to go to a dead stop. The whiplash on that has to be immense. But anyway. So we'll sell it outright. Now, are we going to make a ton of money? No, we're not going to make a ton of money off of this. We already know that. But it is going to be some money, right? I'm expecting us to be somewhere around the $20,000 range when everything's said and done. Maybe just under, maybe just over. But that's what I'm expecting from this. So nothing crazy, but also it's an extra $3,000, which we absolutely can and will need to use, right? So I guess the question becomes what we were talking about already, right? Are we going to go with the second Trout Lake approach, which maybe we should consider, or should we save that money for the drill that we know we're going to want to do in the next episode, right? And we also have to think about, we've got to plow that field up, or if we don't plow it, we've got to get a sprayer then, right? So there's more money that is going to be thrown, pumped out, utilized heavily over the next couple of episodes, and we have to really make sure that we're strategically being smart about what we choose, right? We have definitely not been to the animal dealer yet. This fence was having all kinds of, from the distance at least, it was giving all kinds of, rendering issues for some reason. I don't know, it's a little weird, right? But all right, let's see how much we get from one load. Oh, do I need to open it up? Yep, I need to open it up. That would be smart. Way to go, Z. Way to go, buddy. We're getting a little bit more than I expected, actually. I think we're going to hit 18,000 just with this load. So, yeah, we might get well over 20,000 then. Because we have a ton more straw up there to pick up. We're not even close. So we're getting $1,000, little over $1,000 per trip. That's pretty good, I think. I think that's pretty good. So yeah, we might be at like 23,000, which even better, right? Even better. So I guess the next decision becomes, we probably need to look and see, like, what are we looking at here for some kind of a drill, right? More than likely, what's going to end up having to happen is we're going to have to get, our atypical drill. When I say our atypical drill, I mean it's the one that we almost use every episode or every series early on at least. The old 1990s Case or the John Deere, right? It's going to probably have to be that. We don't have any money, right? We don't have enough money to do anything besides that. So, yeah, it's probably going to have to be that, I think. But I mean, they're only like $5,000-6,000. I mean, I think it would be pointless for us to even consider anything else, right? Especially at the the series size of the series right now, right? We only have a couple fields. We have some money that's coming in every month because of the fish, but then we're turning around and putting a lot of it back into those fish to continue to keep them going, right? So, not like we're making boatloads of money. So, if we think about it in that sense, let's just think about this for a minute. If we go that approach, I don't necessarily know if we need a plow, but then we would have to get a sprayer, right? So which one's going to be cheaper, the plow or the sprayer? Really, let's just be honest with ourselves. The plow might be slightly more expensive up front, depending on which sprayer I get. But the sprayers and the longevity of it is going to cost a lot more money, right? It's going to be better off if we plow every time and then drill versus just drilling and then having to spray because we have to continue to buy herbicide, and herbicide's not cheap, right? But plowing takes a while. So there's positives and negatives for sure. Spraying is super easy. I love spraying. I like fertilizing too. Like, those things are easy to do for me, and I just enjoy doing them. So I would be probably more leaning towards doing that, but it would mean that the series would probably go longer. Whoops. Go longer because it's going to cost us more money, right? So it means, and the longevity of the actual series is going to take longer because of that reason. Does that make sense? I'm sure it does. I'm just trying to think through this and, be as smart as I possibly can here. And that's the reason why we went with this forage and loading wagon, is because it just didn't make sense, I don't think, to go the other way. I would love to have that skid steer, but from a strategic money standpoint, it just doesn't make sense to have that right now. Hopefully another one will pop out in the future, but the odds are not. But that's okay. We're early on in the series here. We have to make some decisions, and this was the best decision at the time, was buying this. That's my opinion. So it'll probably be one of these guys, right? It just makes the most sense. Everything else is a little expensive. Possibly the Massey Ferguson, maybe, if we want to branch out a little bit and spend a little bit more money. But the odds are still that it would be one of those. I think I mentioned this last episode. We're going to need gas soon for this tractor. Getting a little low. Well, not really. I mean, we still have more than half a tank, but before we know it, that is going to be, we only have 1/4 of a tank, right? I love this series, man. I love this series. I'm so happy I decided to do this series. I really wanted to figure out a way to incorporate all of the, the new fish approach, and I'm so happy that we're doing it. Like I said, it's not going to be short. It's going to be a long series because of how expensive it is just to get all this stuff doing, in the kind of the rules I've given myself, which is I'm not allowed to, from a production standpoint, put down anything that isn't, in other words, I'm not allowed to, like, I have to buy the fish food factory, right? I can't just put down my own fish food factory, right? If there's a mod that comes out or something, I can't do that. I have to buy all the stuff on the map that is done for the fish food, right? Now, a mill is something I don't think we've really talked about. Mill, I think I can put on our own land. That's not specific to the fish food. It's required for the fish food, but it's not like it's a fish food factory, right? The mill is just something that the fish food factories require. So I think as far as a mill goes, if I want to put down a bit of a cheaper mill or my own mill, a mod mill, I can do that without, any hesitation. I don't think that's imposing on the rules of the series, if you will. But the fish food factory, we have to have that. We already own the Aquafarm, so that's fine. We've got to own the boat, which is outrageously expensive. We've looked at that already, earlier on. Okay, I can go. I'm just gonna go right back out here through the bush here again. I would love to remove part of this bush. It doesn't seem to let me do that. It would be nice just to make my own entry right here to make it, ease. Oh, it does let me do it. Oh my gosh, it does let me do it. How did I miss that the first time? I swear I came over here and tried to do that and it didn't let me do it. But anyway, we're in here right now. I can talk about it. So, I mean, we've got to do this offshore aquacultural place, right? Which is $125,000 each, right? And you're going to want to extend that because you can extend them, I'm pretty sure. So, there's a lot of money is what I'm trying to get at. There's a lot of money to spend here. All right, let's spend a little bit of money here. Maybe I shouldn't, but let's spend a little bit of money here. Try to build a bit of an entry point here. As much as it'll let me do it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to let me do the whole thing. I mean, maybe it will. Let me do more than I expected, actually. Won't let me do this for some reason, but it lets me do this, so that's fine. We'll just build a little bit more that way. More of like a turn coming in, if you will. This is good. Nice. We got our own entryway now, gang. That's awesome. I swear I looked at it. Maybe there was maybe it was that update that they just did, because I swear I looked at it in the past and it wouldn't let me do it. So maybe that update they allowed that to change. I swear I looked at it, gang. I promise. Anyway, that's super exciting now that we have that entry point there, though. That is super exciting. Maybe it's not as, you know, realistic in the Scottish area without a gate, but it's super exciting to have that entryway. It's just ease of access, right? And a little bit more realistic in the regard to not driving through the bush. Oh, gotta unlock. I gotta open that up. Just try to take a drink. So we got a long way to go here, still, gang. We've got a lot of straw still to pick up, but we're making good progress. Let's continue at this. Let's get the straw all picked up, all sold. We'll see where we end up money-wise, and then, like I said, maybe we put down the Trout Lake, or we buy the drill in preparation for the next episode, or whatever, the plow, whatever it is we decide to do, right? We need to look at the plow prices. I'll probably utilize one of the plows we always utilize, which I've said this so many times I can't even count it, but, you know, similar with the drill, right? My goal in most series is try to bring in new stuff, not utilize the same things over and over again, but sometimes there's just no way around it, depending on what the series is. And that's the case here, really. There's just not a way around it. Same thing with, you know, the loading wagon here, right? This is a loading wagon we've used before, right? So it's just, sometimes there's just no way around it. It's just a difficult situation, and you have to utilize some of the same stuff. But if I'm able to do it whenever I can, I do try to change it up, especially from the tractor formation, or the tractor setup, I guess I should say formation, the setup. Harvesters, too, right? That harvester we're utilizing now is definitely fresh and brand new, and although I would like to have the one that's in the used market that we talked about at the beginning of the episode, you know, it's just not in the cards today. That one would be one that's something similar we've used in the past, but, you know, if it makes sense, we upgrade to it. If it doesn't, we don't, right? So let's get to it. Let's get this done, and we'll see where we're at money-wise. All right, well, I think I'm going to be much closer to my original estimate here versus the secondary estimate, which I said maybe we'll get to 23. No, we're probably going to maybe just barely crack 21. But that's okay, right? That's still about $1,000 better than my initial estimate was. So we'll take it. We'll take it. This is good money. So I think what we're going to end up doing is kind of maybe waiting to purchase anything else. And what I mean by anything else is, you know, the actual drill itself. Probably the same with the Trout Lake. I don't see a reason to go ahead and purchase that today. We might as well wait till we have more trout in the next episode. I think that makes the most sense. And then maybe we'll get lucky. We won't, because we already got lucky with this. We're not going to get lucky a second time, but maybe we'll get lucky and the drill will be out there in the used market too, right? That would tremendously help us. Yeah, just barely over 21, which is what I kind of said, right? So good, though. That's good. $21,000. A lot more than I expected to have at the end of this episode. So yeah, with that, dang, I think we are going to leave the episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button for me in case you have yet to do so. They're free to do. They help me a ton. Thank you to my members. Cannot thank you guys enough. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Check the Discord. Check my second channel out. As always, all the stuff I always tell you. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.